everybody. Welcome back. Sport Federation TV. Nice to have you with us. Well, if you have just joined the show for the first time, you'll know we talk about all the various sports in the Western Cape. Of course, you can see I'm proudly wearing our Western Cape emblem. And, of course, if you've been watching the show, you'll know that we on a regular basis talk about equestrian sports. Equestrian sports, of course, the folks on the horses, and they've got a number of different sport codes in the equestrian sport code, and one of the codes is, of course, dressage. And in studio with me now, I've got Anle Hattingh. Anle, nice to have you with me.
Thanks, nice to be here.
And Jade Kirklaride.
Yes.
Did I get it right?
Yes, you did.
All right. Okay, Jade, let's start with you. You're a dressage rider.
Yeah.
All right. How long have you been doing dressage?
I've been doing dressage for probably about just over 10 years.
Yeah.
I used to do show jumping before that, but in total I've been riding for going on 27 years.
Wow. All right.
So yeah, it's been my profession, recently become my profession, but it's been a hobby and a passion since I was little.
And Anle, same question for you. How long have you been doing dressage?
Since I was 16.
Really?
So also started show jumping, fell off way too much show jumping and decided, no, this is not safe. Let's choose the safer discipline.
Do you guys still do both, or do you only do dressage?
No, only dressage.
Okay, look, I know I asked you guys this question before, but I've got it for the sake of the viewers. I think people get a lot lost between gymkhana, endurance riding, equitation, all these fancy words. Just and the way that I'm understanding it is that. And let's go to you, Jade, that dressage is about the rider and the horse looking good.
Yes, correct. So basically what we like to explain it is it's like ballet with our horse. And it's such a fine line between us communicating through our seat, through our aids, everything, but making it look like we're not doing anything.
Yeah.
So that is the hardest thing. Is there's that old saying of the horse just does it, and we just sit there. But when we do that and we just sit there, we're doing our job right. So it takes tiny movements of legs this way, legs that way, seat bones, pressure in the toes and everything, and through our reins to communicate and make our horses look like they do it all the time.
So Anle, which is the one that we see in the Olympics?
That would be the dressage. Actually, there's three disciplines you see. Is dressage, show jumping, and eventing, which is a bit of cross-country show jumping and dressage all mixed into one event.
So Jay just explained a bunch of things here now about what you have to specialize on. What is it that you guys prepare on? I mean, you got to dress right, you got to groom the horse, all that.
Absolutely. So it's not just us. We have a whole team behind us.
Yeah.
Chief among which is obviously your coach, who plays a pivotal role in, especially now as we're heading towards SA Champs, is preparation for that. So you have your grooms that are also very vital. They have to make sure that your horses are taken care of, that they look good, and they take a lot of pride in making sure that their horses look great. And fitness, we just got to keep fit as well, because it's literally a week worth of competition.
Yeah.
And you just got to make sure that you can stay with it.
So what does that mean for you guys from a fitness point of view? Is that sort of a lot of training? Do you go to gym? Or is it all that?
Yeah. So like my regime is I do strength twice a week, and then cardio and HIIT-based 3 times a week. And then on the weekends is normally our competition days. So those are our days that we specialize in the competition, and we try not to do too much exertion because we need it all for our horse. Yeah.
So you got how many days of competition when you go now?
It's a week. We have a day or two off in between. Obviously the federation allows for the horses just to have a bit of a breather.
Yeah.
But it's at the elementary horses we have to ride 4 classes. Yeah. And our grade at the moment is the biggest currently in the country. It's got the most horses in it. And
explain that to me. When you say you mentioned classes and grades, what are the differences?
So we have different levels, which starts with the prelim level and works all its way up to Grand Prix. And every level has different sections that need to do certain movements based on the age of the horse and the schooling level of the horse. And then every level works its way up. You get a point system, and your percentage that you earn on your test is a certain point for certain percentages. And then once you get to different levels, you get an open team, which is your highest level. And then we've now got different level teams. So like ourselves, we're on elementary level. And like Anle said, with being the most horses, I think Joburg alone has close to 50 horses in the elementary. And then
big
we
class.
have Eastern Cape, Western Cape, and all the different provinces.
So how many, do you have an idea in advance how many people you're up against?
No idea.
No
we
idea?
have no idea. It's going to be a surprise for us when we get there.
So one of the things that we always ask, and I think it was also highlighted in the Olympics, is do you take your horse with you? Or,
Absolutely, yeah.
yeah? But in some cases you don't. Sometimes you get the horse that you're given.
Nope.
Not.
It's always your horse. It's a partnership. So
Right.
it's very difficult to expect a rider to get good results on a horse that they've just met.
Yeah.
So it's an absolute partnership between you and your horse, both emotionally and mentally as well. So you need to understand each other, trust each other as well. So we have to travel with our own horses. So they travel the day before we do because they have a stopover on the way. And as soon as they get there, we whip them out, tack them up, go for a walk, show them the venue so that they're a bit more settled.
Yeah.
And yeah, then it's go time.
And then, so how does that work then when you get there? Do the horses go to one hotel and you guys go to another
Pretty
hotel?
much, yes. Yeah, pretty much.
Have you got a horse hotel?
Yeah, basically.
We do. Kailami, the champs is being hosted at
Yeah.
Kailami Equestrian Park. They have a row, or a couple of rows actually, of beautiful stables. So the horses will be kept there along with their grooms who will be watching over them during the evenings. And then we go off to our guest houses and hotels and meditate and do whatever it is we need to do to get into game mode.
Tell me a little bit about the build up to this. South African Championships now is obviously the ultimate picture.
Yeah.
You guys are representing Team Western Cape, I'm assuming. But to get to this point, to be selected, to wear the colors, obviously there's a road you've had to follow of different local competitions.
Yeah. So we've obviously had to, through the year, get a consistent score of either above 65%. That's in the whole constitution of applying for the team. Because if you are going to yourself, to fund yourself to go to essays, you then put yourself forward for the team if you want to. So then we compete, it's normally twice a month, or sometimes once a month, depending on what is available. And we then, each competition, we will try and be better than the previous competition.
Yeah.
And then leading up to champs, we want to then be able to know that our horses can do everything with ease, so that it's not something new or strange for them. So we try and stay in the grade that we're aiming to do SA champs in, so that we start with the beginning of the year already, so that by the time it's SA champs, our horses are comfortable in that level.
Anle, how do people get involved? Young women who maybe want to start off and also become, as proficient as you guys. I mean, you guys are really now the role models for the sport. Everybody's looking at you and saying, how do we do the same thing? How do we get involved? How do we also get to the point where, you two have gotten?
I think a really good riding school to start with, if it's young kids that we're talking about, is very vital. Someone with good knowledge and good horsemanship, I think, is also something that's very, very important. Not just to teach the riding aspect of it, but also how to properly care for your horse and how to be a good horseman and a good sportsman. So I think that's very vital to start with. It is, for me and personally, it is important to choose a discipline. Yeah.
Right.
So it's great to be able to do all of them, but if you want to be very proficient, you need to pick one and focus on that. So if you want to do dressage, you speak to your coach and you say, right, I've decided I want to do dressage, and hopefully they will support that and they will get you clinics with people that come down to Cape Town from overseas or out of province, and they can impart some knowledge on you and you can learn. And just watch the big guns do their thing. And why are their horses going so well? How are they sitting so still? Go and speak to them afterwards and ask them questions. Who teaches you? Can I come and watch a training session? That would be my advice.
You guys recently had a schools event in Stellenbosch. Are we seeing younger athletes come through the ranks? Because certainly when I was there, I was absolutely blown away with how many young athletes there were competing. I mean, there was just horses everywhere. Whatever you guys call these, horse carts everywhere, tents everywhere. Yeah. It really looked like a big event. Are we seeing our athletes come through the ranks? And it certainly looks like it.
Yeah, so that competition is SENISA, which is the inter-schools, and that's been really good for the younger generation because it's a whole camaraderie, and it's their schools competing their schools, so they're all friends. So it's a really good introductory to the competition level. And then once you're finished with SENISA, because I think it only goes up to matric, if I'm not mistaken. Then you come into what would say is the real competition world, which then has a little bit stricter rules and ways of going, but it's a nice introductory into it, so that you're not thrown into the deep end and don't really know what to do. You already have got the nerves out of the system because you've been competing. So it definitely, we are starting to see there is still within dressage quite a lack of younger juniors and childrens that we're trying to make the sport grow. And we're hoping that after they're finished with Sinisa, or not finished with Sinisa, actually still doing Sinisa, that they dip their toes into the real competition side of the world.
And then they come to you guys and get autographs. What comes next if you guys win here at Kirklaride, and it's of course on the 17th of September, it's 2 weeks time. What comes next for you after this?
A big party.
A big party? All right. So hopefully you guys are going to do well. We're obviously very proud of you flying the flag for Western Cape. Amazing work happening in the equestrian sport codes. Like you said, the school kids are coming through the ranks. The clubs are coming through the ranks. So good luck for the event. And yeah, we can't wait to get you guys back in studio. Lots of pictures. And I'm sure Dussenberg up in West Coast is never going to be the same again.
Nope.
So good luck for the event, and thanks for joining us.
Thanks very much.
Right, there we go, folks. Wow. Jade Kirklaride and Anle Hattingh flying the flag for Western Cape, going up to the Nationals. As I said, we can't wait to get them back. We're super excited, and our Western Cape equestrian sport guys really, really doing an amazing job. Look out for them. There's always a horse near you somewhere to get started. Folks, that's a wrap from us this evening. We'll see you again next week, same time, same place. Have a fantastic sporting weekend. Bye-bye.